How to read a room like a spy. Imagine you walk into a room. Let's say it's like a networking event. Suits polished, shoes, background music that's trying too hard to sound expensive. Everyone's holding a glass, talking but not really saying much. To the average person, it's just a bunch of people milling around. But to someone trained, spy, a negotiator, or like to a sharp strategist, this is a gold mine of signals. The room is never silent. Even when no one speaks, the air talks. You just need to listen differently. Step number one, establish baseline behavior. Every skilled person, every good operator, every anyone else who know how to deal with people, starts with the what's called baseline reading. That means before looking for anomalies or tells, you watch what so-called normal looks like in that room. You don't judge yet, you observe. So, what is the baseline? What kind of things related to the baseline? You should consider this kind of things like how loud people normally talk here, how they stand, how close they get to one another, what kind of gestures are common. Why? Because one of the biggest rookie mistakes is misreading a personality quirk as a signal. For example, some people naturally avoid eye contact when they speak, and it doesn't mean they're lying. That's just how their baseline works. So in other words, you have to understand each person's this kind of details, and do not judge all people in by using the same principle. A trained observer stands at the edge of the room first, no rushing in, just watching. How do clusters form? Are people grouped tightly or loosely? Is the energy buzzing or restrained? Is there dominant laughter, like one voice cutting through others? And that's your first map. It is like entering a chess game already in progress, and you don't move the first piece, you look at the board. Step number two, identify centers of gravity. Every room has power centers. They are not always the ones wearing the nicest suits or talking the loudest. A power center is whoever sets the rhythm of interaction. It is often subtle. Look for things like who attracts micro glances from others, who people physically orient their bodies toward, even slightly, whose laughter makes others laugh, who is not moving much, but people adjust around them. And spies and intelligence officers are trained to spot who doesn't need to try to control the room. If someone is holding court effortlessly, their gravity field is stronger. Here's a quiet giveaway. When someone enters a group and everyone slightly adjusts their posture or angle, that person carries weight. That's their gravitational pull in action. So in other words, even if there's no words or extra actions, it's actually opposite when a silence itself impacting to the people's behavior. Step number three, watch feet, not faces. Faces lie, feet don't. Most people learn to control their facial expressions. They can fake smiles, fake interest, fake warmth. But the lower body is lazy. It tells the truth. If someone's torso is facing you but their feet angled away, they're mentally halfway out of that conversation. If their feet are pointing directly at someone else in the group, that's who they actually care to talk to. In other words, that's actually interesting to remember and know. The direction of your someone's feet, it shows to which person they subconsciously interested to, and opposite. If their feet and torso face the same person, that's loyalty, focus, or interest. Spies use this to track alliances, interest levels, or power dynamics without saying a word. It is not just who is talking to whom, it is who wants to. Step number 4, microcluster mapping. Think of the room like a topographic map. Clusters form naturally. Some are tight and closed, like insider circles. Others are open, hunters looking to recruit or connect. Tight circle plus bodies angled inward equal to closed group. You will need an in to enter. Or another combination, loose circle plus open shoulder angles equal to, like, it means like welcoming, they are either searching for new connections or lower on their hierarchy. Or another combination, when like a two-person cluster with a mirrored posture, it means strong bond, like friends, allies, or high trust. And when you can map these clusters within like the first 2-3 minutes, you're not wandering blindly anymore, you're navigating a landscape. This is how spies avoid stepping in the wrong conversation and wasting valuable time. No, but it's not just like a spying shit, it's like any person who like dealing with negotiations and like also applicable in the business, Step number 5, look for power signals. Power is not loud, it's efficient. In every room, power speaks in quiet codes. The person who doesn't over smile is usually higher status. The one taking up comfortable space without apology, like leaning casually, controlled gestures, tends to hold influence. People who use slower, deliberate movements subconsciously project dominance. This is what is called nonverbal status signaling. Another signal, because I gotta mention that you can see in almost any interaction between like a boss and employee contacts, when boss acting in a very calm, like a chill way, an employee, they rushing, they anxious, they think to do anything to please their boss, and that's all you can see on their in their body language. Another signal how people pause. Those who are truly powerful or secure do not rush to fill silences. They let others lean into the quiet. A spy, for example, listens carefully to how silence is distributed. Because again, silence is one of the elicitation techniques in order to intentionally, when someone making silence, using silence to get extra information, because people who don't know these kind of details, they don't like silence, and they're ready to do anything to fill this gap. They starting to say any shit in order to fill this gap, and that's exactly what kind of when this kind of person want to get extra information. Okay, step number 6, emotional temperature check. This is about rooms have temperatures, not physical but emotional. It is subtle, but once you train your attention, it hits like a breeze. Ask yourself questions like, is the laughter real or strained? Conversations flowing naturally or stitched together with polite fillers? Or is there one group that sounds alive while the rest feel flat? You can feel where the pulse of the room is strongest. That's where energy and usually opportunity lives. And also spies use this to decide where to place themselves. A cold corner is a dead zone. A warm pocket is where real information flows. Step number 7, detect discomfort and hidden tension. One of the more advanced layers of reading a room is spotting discomfort that no one names. Common tells like shoulders tightening but faces still smiling, or like a microhead tilts away from someone speaking, finger tapping or micro fidgeting under the table, someone suddenly over-explaining, or subtle sign of being under social pressure. And if two people are talking but their upper bodies lean back slightly, they are managing tension. If their laughter is a bit too loud, they are compensating. These little pressure leaks tell you more than the actual words. Step number 8, who breaks patterns? And once you map the baseline, like who moves, who like talks and gestures how, you start looking for deviations. Things like who suddenly goes quiet, who enters the room and changes the vibe, who makes others straighten up without saying a word. Spies pay very close attention to pattern breakers, because the one who can shift the room's rhythm is usually either the most powerful or the most dangerous. A single eyebrow raise from the wrong person can ripple through the air like a stone in still water. Step number 9, layering of verbal and non-verbal data. Now you're in a deeper water, and at this point you build things like a baseline map, power centers, temperature zones, cluster structures, anomaly markers. Now you start listening but differently. Words are no longer your main data. You're syncing verbal content with non-verbal subtext. For example, like someone says, "Oh yeah, of course, I would love to work with you," but their shoulders stiffen and their eyes flick to the exit. Verbal says yes, body says run. The real message is always in the mismatch. And like a skilled people build this split-second fusion skill, seeing a word as one layer, behavior as another, and reading the gap between them like subtitles. And the point is, you always have to, like, first of all, understand the baseline in order to not misunderstood this exact person. And second, the main rule, I guess, when you, in general, dealing with the people, especially in like a serious conversation, that the words and body language should match each other. And what I mean by that, if, for example, someone simply speaking saying that they're happy to see you, that's just words, right? But if you gotta pay attention to the body language, facial expression, and if their facial expression do not show that joy, that happiness, and its actual opposite, it's got to be a red flag for you, because words do not match with the body language, facial expression. It's got to be equal if a person in front of you honest. Okay, step number 10, reading yourself too. This is where most people fail. You can't read a room if you're broadcasting static. Before walking in, lower your heart rate. Breathe out slowly, not in. Drop your shoulders, signal ease. Take up natural space, signal confidence, not aggression. People read you too. If you look tense or scattered, they react to that. And interesting part, even if person in front of you do not know about such things like details about body language and etc., even despite of that, they subconsciously can understand that there's something off. That's why this is powerful things to know, not just notice like this kind of body language stuff in others, but also do like your own self-control to not just say what you want to say, but to match your words with your body language. Because when you're doing that, your message, what you want to deliver to, you can deliver that in a much more efficient way. In other words, you can gain trust faster. Otherwise, it's all the time going to be a mismatch. A spy walks in as a calm sensor, not demanding attention, not shrinking either. You become like a clean mirror. Everyone projects themselves onto you, and that's how you stay invisible but powerful. And the bonus layer, it's about triangulation. High-level reading involves triangulating what you observe across 3 points. First of all, what people say. Second, what their bodies say. Third, how others react to them. When all 3 align, you got truth. When they clash, you got insight. For example, if a guy gives a confident pitch but people's bodies lean back and eyes glaze over, he thinks he's leading, but he isn't. And spies don't just observe individuals, they observe ripples. The effect someone has tells you their real weight. Practical example, the lobby operation. Let's make this real. Say you in a hotel lobby bar pretending to be just another business traveler, but you're there to collect intel, soft data, let's say. You order a drink slowly. You stand near a wall where you can see most of the floor without being center of it. You scan for clusters, power centers, temperature. You spot a man in a tailored suit, not talking much, but others angle toward him. That's gravity. You watch his feet. They're directed toward the woman in red and at the bar, not the guy like blabbering next to him. Temperature check. The energy is cooler near the bar. Warmer is a warmer in a corner with 2 groups merging. Then someone enters, tall, confident walk, minimal movement. The laughter dips slightly, then picks up with a different rhythm, pattern, breaker, high status or danger. You observe how the man in the suit straightens slightly, adjusts his glass. There it is, a silent hierarchy shift. No one told you who matters here. The room did. And, in general, final rule, he who rushes misses. Most people rush to talk, to pitch, to be seen, and skilled people doesn't. They read first, then they decide if to speak, when to speak, and to whom. In other words, your mindset is not about pleasing someone. You subconsciously projecting the dominance, because the real advantage is not about being the loudest voice in the room. It is about being the one who actually understands it. And the art of reading the room is the art of quiet power. The world reveals itself to those who stop trying to dominate it and start observing. And once you see the structure behind the noise, you're not just in the room anymore, you're running it. Thank you for listening. See you next time, and smash the like button, subscribe button.